I love also that Catface currently in this matchup has changed out Elaborate from playing a Cypher into a Chamber. And Elaborate, for me, in this Swiss stage and in general for GC Stage 2, is basically like Starbound version 2.0, where Elaborate is just going to keep playing Chamber on as many maps as possible because they have sick aim, just like Starbound. We get as where Starbound from Maxwell will step away from the Chamber to play a little bit more of a Vice KJ to be more of a support player. On the other side, though, here Lemon Kiwi, Masked Secret or staying as their tried and true, playing the double controller to their favor, and that actually could be a great opener to take away the potency of having a Chamber for the side of Catface on this map.
A gift.
Yeah, you just need that take potential with the Chamber, so I don't mind going to something that can kind of have more staying power. So Elaborate now, Chamber, that works out. They have just been incredible for this Catface roster, and they'll be trusted to solo hold C. See how they set the tone on their attack. They're a team that clearly come in here as the underdogs. They've changed up their roster, and they find themselves in a round 7. It's the last chance to take a swing at this. Now it's a fight for that mid control. Nothing off the Sonic there from Lunafox, and they advance quietly, but maybe right into the sightlines of Blue Owl, who almost got caught with smoke in hand. Sekia already testing the waters. His Mask are a bit frantic to respond.
Like what I saw so far from the macro of Catface, I also like how you set up the TP just to play an off angle on the top of the boxes and maybe punish somebody walking up. But overall, it's just Mass Secret stalling out the utility and stalling out the round. And they're going to start activating at the minute mark. Already from Catface, though, from the look from the defensive side, have no choice but to play soft site onto A. But the more that Mask's Secret is slowly moving onto this A site, the more that it gives a chance here for Lunafox to get the second refresh off the Sonic sensor, or the recon dart, sorry, so they could flood retake on their side. And there it is, now activated and ready to go for Lunafox's belt.
Now at the top, though, Lunafox will be smoked off, but important information to be gained here was more focus on trying to prevent the plant, do some initial damage, and now you get the information. One player down below, but Catface smoked off. At least you know that there's only one in hell, so now there's every nook and cranny that you have to check. No paranoia as Catface just begin the flood. Blue Owl overwhelms Sober Sushi, and this smoke is really isolated some great fights for Catface. Make it 2 for the Chamber, and 1 pistol round under the belt off of a successful full retake from Catface.
Yeah, 2 big kills from Elaborate with the headhunter bullets. Like I said, Maskface did a decent job, though, to stall off the value that Lunafox got off the recon dart, because that pinged 3 players twice. And then I think the orb, maybe Logic had a snake bite too, if I'm not mistaken, but it didn't really allow for Catface to really flood back into the A site. And yet, despite still having hot hands and not using it to clear out graffiti, the rest of Catface still managed to utilize systems, buddy systems, and trade off each other perfectly here. Actually, they didn't even lose a single player when they were flooding back into the A site. So it was actually quite nice on how they understood which angles they had to clear and did some huge damage onto Masked Secret. In the second round, though, Elaborate is trying to play inside the smoke. Nobody's shooting back, though.
Fearless, but also patient from the side of Mask. Head in, quick step, quick TP out, but Elaborate is not out of the woods yet, and it still gets 1 for the road, by the way, at 21 HP, which is kind of nuts. Mask, they seem to not come out of these engagements unscathed, and this turret taken down in mid, so now Mask know there's treasure coming, there's trouble coming from mid. Mask are gonna seek some treasure. They only have pistols though, so you know, power in numbers, but they're leaving the site. They're getting smoked off, walled off from their spike. Their reliance on Logic is going to be pretty huge. He was peeking. Lunafox, who then gets crunched by Sober Sushi, but the retaliation, the answer from Catface is great. And the defuse still goes through, so it doesn't really matter. Not the biggest bonus, though, coming in for Catface.
Yeah, some good damage being done for Masked Secret. On top of that, getting 2 plants down on abundant money to move into their gun round. But look at that, Elaborate, because of the first couple of kills that they've gotten in that pistol round, and also saving the econ well enough. They're going for a glass cannon op. into the bonus round of Catface, which I actually love. Because now this gives a chance here for them to just disrespect the Viper wall and then jump on top of the boxes and try to get a pick into a late lurk of the A control. Ooh, not breaking that dart though.
It's tough. Same sort of slow approach from Catface. A lot of information from Lunafox to see. Is A main ever a priority? Which so far it's not. A lot of mid or a walk down at C. As Mask really just want to keep their approach simple, but not able to protect their turret, not able to retaliate. We'll see if Catface, I guess they'll just play off the Bucky, because before Sekia was able to flash out and be a nuisance, but Mask are a little too quiet here.
Catface had to play with no information. That's why Lunafox had to stay towards the A line, because they didn't break the recon in the first place. But now you see the position from Elaborate being very potent here. They get cleared out by the drone. Now they know that the op is here. Might have Mask's secret cancel on it, but yet Neon still runs down Sofel trying to open it up.
See if this Neon ever gets stopped. You got massive pings on Mask. Just all marked down A main.
30 seconds left.
So Spooky is maybe trying to clear out an opportunity here at B. Get the catch on Elaborate. That drops the op. And Mask. This is salvageable, but they're now just going into C. And this insert from Sekia is going to change things. This could be a rampage. Quick trades. 13 seconds, though. And there's quite a resistance from the Bucky.
10 seconds left. Spike down.
Now Mask, just barely enough time to play out.
Annihilated.
Spike planted.
And backstabs, though. Blue Owl will not know the flank here from Fel. This should still be a round coming in for Mask, and there you go. Imagine, though, that Raven would get the second bucket kill. That was a guaranteed round, no matter what, for Catface. Because that would keep Raven alive down towards that C line. Spikes down out in the open. It doesn't matter if Blue Owl loses her life towards B. But thankfully, the trait was perfect, and the insert from Spooky was huge to catch some players off guard on a rotate, especially Elaborate with that TP. So not readjusting when the turret gets broken, the trademark gets broken on the top B, just kind of threw Catface for a loop. And now here for Mask to really work out the map in their favor here on Haven on the attack side. Now, Headhunter to walk down because, of course, no op this time around.
Yeah, so many good cutoff opportunities from Mask. The extremities, and this is a Nook that almost could have caught Mask off guard again. No quick enough TP from Elaborate. Has been punished a few times, so Mask could be a site that they continue to hit if they find success here again, and so they should, being up 5v4. Spotting the flank is dwindling the chances of Catface to have solid chances to catch Mask by surprise. In worst case, you have a Hunter's Fury, but Mask shouldn't need to invest this, but the run it back right in their face is insane, and Mask just feast.
If there's a coach or an IGL at timeout here, because you are right. I think for the last couple of rounds from the anti-eco in round number 2 and that the last 2 rounds from Elaborate, they got caught. So spam with the Marshall being overconfident, punished on the C site, and they lose it. But thankfully, it was an anti-eco, so Catface is still able to win it. Round number 3, the rotate TP, not being aware of where the inserts could be, caught off guard. 4th time, perfect insert, but then goes out for the Headhunter ADS before the peak comes out, just misses their own timing. Another punish there. So that's 3 rounds in a row that allows Masks to really get some good map control on a 5 versus 4. First blood going into their favor. And just unfortunately, the Flood retake on the side of Catface was questionable at the least on that C site take.
Got a walk down, 3-person walk down from Catface towards spawn. Elaborate his control of A main. He's going to be able to maybe get a one and done and teleport out and checking corners. Caught out, no response as Mask just walking into the hands of a Catface. Shares coming in through spawn. It drops the spike. So Mask just keep getting hit when they least expect it. Making an opportunity for Spooky to go on a rampage. Confirms 3. And there was not much kickback from pistols of Catface, but this now opens up the C site.
Lunafox is available right now, though, so if Lunafox can get a pick, this is huge.
One enemy
My
remaining.
ultimate is ready.
Now, ace opportunity for Spooky.
Placing swarm grenade.
After the flood came their way, now it's time to mark Elaborate out for good. And it's a spooky, scary ace for Masked Treasure to get the lead.
Yeah, I was hoping to get more of an Omen smoke onto the trademark, and I'm not too sure if Blue Owl still had one. I would assume so. But you have 14 seconds to react more on the double peek into spawn instead of going past lanes where it just disappears a lot more quickly. Yes, they're able to get that pick off onto the spike carrier, but also just not understanding where their gaps are on a rotates back from the side of Catface. Spooky had just 3 instant, easy one-by-one peaks here that just didn't allow for Catface to salvage and get any good value off their eco. That said, though, breaking this Aldrone will be super important because now Elaborate.
Just Fury to maybe clear up the site, but Elaborate goes unaffected, but this Neon may have slipped past their defenses, and that's how Carly is able to get the punish and a setup for a plant. Mask will maintain the pressure as Catface aren't able to get good enough eyes, but just knowing that Bell is close enough, start the flood. Let's see if there's a garage position that could be taken here. Sekia wants to head that direction, is already causing havoc and disruption, but Blue Owl is shut down, and with the Killjoy ult, Catface are not going to be allowed much space. There is an edge to play behind, but if anything, that's exactly where Mask want you to stand at. Catface have broken their way in, but are running out of time, and Sober Sushi on the back end just crunches down on Catface.
Yeah, so far, Catface are getting their ankles
Everyone note
broken
down
too,
your
and it's hard.
observations, then
I
let's
have
run
to
it
respect
again.
it. Now I understand why Elaborate is trying to play a little bit more aggressive, because you are definitely trying to get ahead and around the util that Masks currently has here in this double controller setup. That example that we just saw on Elaborate play on the top of the boxes is the prime example as to why it's so difficult to play you know, a chamber op or even a jet op or any of the oppers against the double controller. That's what the guard defined back in 2024, even 2023, should I say, before going into 2024, why they actually played double controller. It slices out so many different areas that doesn't allow an op to get good value because you're watching a literal wall. But now on top of that, the value that the Neon also brings in terms of an extra set of walls while being very mobile across the map does not give a chance here for an op like Elaborate to get strong value if you're not trying to play aggressive in front of the util. So in both cases, Elaborate's been tested, and in both cases, they've unfortunately failed, which is why now the timeout has to adapt a little bit more into maybe more than just the Elaborate line of sight to try to get some map control, but more on Raven and Sekia this time around.
A lot of rounds in a row too. Mask going on a absolute tear now. And if anything, it's just the out macro. Like, as soon as they get discovered, their pivot plan, they just out rotate Catface and catch them on rotations and somehow end up behind them. It's a lot of confidence for a team that haven't been put in this situation, at least often, as many times as Catface have. Sheriffs across the board, -1 classic for Catface. It's these type of walkdowns that they've gone for, but usually at the seaside they haven't benefited from. This could be a different approach. It's been completely silent today.
Toxins
At
going
least
up.
in the early round. See if they can disrupt the spawn like Catface have tried to do before on these lower buys. As logic, movement, and action right into their grasp as the paranoia. You know there's more at stake. There's more around the corner, and a counter paranoia. The barrel is there, and Sekia's too scared to swing. Oh, and this is greedy and wanted more. Just couldn't land the second shot. And only one will fall for the Mask side.
Very nice try in terms of the bait and switch to try to get those picks. I like the idea because Masked secret so far has been always leveraging alarm bot from Spooky on the left side, turret on the boxes, and not putting too much on the A side because it's just Logic's responsibility. And I think as you keep slow defaulting for mid control instead of the extremities for the side of Mask, there are gaps that could be identified here by Catface that could be taken advantage of, but it's not happening. They're not pushing towards the A main still. Just want to fight toe to toe.
Here we go.
Uh-oh. Oh, wow. no! Fell as a victim and all that. I thought they were about to go crazy. The teamwork between Sekia and Raven to bail each other out is next level. Now the first pick goes their way. Another double walk down from Catface towards spawn. So Mask is still going to make the most out of it. They open up the pit, the middle of the map, and the sky's the limit. They just 2v1 every duel, and Mask salvaged the round.
Placing swarm grenade.
Should have been some smoke, something to delay on the other angles that they've lost control of in the first place. So good on Masked Secret to just up the tempo on the space that they've lost in Garage in the first place. Again, the walk up, the punish, catching players off the rotate for Catface. I'm definitely seeing it here. The 1-4 record for Masked Secret doesn't show to me that they've been struggling too much on this against Catface. Why did you lose 113 against a team like Set Hunters? I'm not too sure, but they're looking really good right now.
Fight! I'm pissed!
They are. First blood, Catface. Oh, and when it rains, it pours, and now you just want to keep the op at this point. Sekia gets the last laugh. She got her one, but Mask have strung up 6 rounds in a row. This is their map pick, so you know they were going to come in confident, but for them to just know how to pivot so quickly when things don't go their way initially, that's happened time and time again. And I wonder at what point do Catface give up these walkdowns, because it gives up so much map control. They have to, when they go down C main, it takes a lot more time to get back into B or wherever else, because Mask just go to the opposite end where these walkdowns happen.
Just change the plan, put your Omen on a C site, opt towards the top of B. You could stall as well as you can and just start farming the orbs of Sekia, as is Phoenix over on the A side when it's not being pressured. Just get everything into your favor to try to win rounds this time around too, if you're not being able to close out and lock down your lanes.
Oh, surprise. No more logic for Mask. Another first blood for Catface. Now just going back to a more standard default. And now knowing that they can easily converge into B, they'll keep eyes on it. Now the ball is in Mask's court, and hey, knowing where the op is half the battle, but Fel does not seem to care. It's just gonna face the music head on, speed into this chamber space, but there's assistance. There's reinforcements. Raven goes 1 for 1, and Mask will still infiltrate into the site. There is a bit of a delay with this spike carrier wanting to fight as well. But now you're worried about Catface having control around the spike, but Mask find their way behind the defense again.
Yeah, there's nothing to really do at this point, unfortunately. I think right now the macro that they had for Catface was phenomenal. They had the great spots and did the perfect punish onto Logic. And when you force players to move in towards that C funnel, you need to land the shots. At the end of the day, you just have to land your shots. Elaborate had a great start for the pistol round, but how many op shots did we hear on that side for the last 2 rounds over on C, but not seeing the icon pop up on the right side? I think the adaptation now is to have to put Elaborate in a spot where they can be a little bit more comfortable, because you now have players that can just walk into your crosshair instead of the obvious jump spot, whip the shot, take the punishment. You know what I mean? They're right now for Mask, they could just keep punishing the C site if they want to, just because Elaborate's not hitting shots.
Gotta go. Every time Catface get a first blood, Mask just double it and give it to the next person. Like, what's with these first bloods not giving huge advantages? Catface are pushing their luck, and Mask are just really resilient through the storms.
Scanning ahead.
Toxins going up.
Are you in here to TP from Logic's position? Keep Elaborate on. I mean, there you go. You're just trying to win duels and shots at this point. Maybe Sega could get something as here's a rotate.
Last player standing.
Not
Like
the drive-by.
Just losing duels right now at this point. Yeah, Mask could just play with confidence in this whole first map, and you might have to think about a stronger second half for Catface here.
This was the same sort of warm-up map that we saw that even C9 needed on their map pick of Lotus. Another kind of 3-site chaotic situation. You're in a very high-pressure, high-stakes situation, and you had to pull through. And Catface having to adjust their game plan on the fly. The timeout is not netting them any big wins. Now it's just players needing to kind of lock in individually, like you said. Because Mask, you're You're first picking them, but then they just run you over by outnumbering your solo positions around the map.
And just unfortunately, every time we're looking at the setup once again here from Catface, there's no real changes going into, right? Still continuous extremities from the Sova and the Chamber. How to react through this? Now you'll have to have Lunafox playing south side once again, and hopefully you have to run it back for the retake that will help out this time around.
Oh, Lunafox discovered, managed to get back, and oh! K-Fel kind of showing off where they are. Same situation for Lunafox. Gonna go for the drone first, and it's kind of a little bit hectic, not having a lot of time to do so. But a pit and a lockdown invested seems a little overkill. But what we'll maintain is the pit after all is said and done. Catface coming in through 3 different angles, now converging. The skies are clear, but Sober Sushi seems to be able to take care of business all by themselves. The second kill for the Initiator. And Mask just hold down their pit until it's Spooky versus Sekia. The Ace against the Phoenix, and it's Mask that still come out on top.
Yeah, Spooky has been doing an excellent job so far in terms of lurk timing, support cast for the side of Mask. Because twice now that MEOW finally has guns to work with, that they're trying to retake the site so far, it's been forced-handed by the lockdowns of Spooky. And then everybody's making mistakes at the same time. Spooky now has to play a 1v1 and then wins that one as well. I mean, this has been just surgical so far for Mask Secret in this first half. No money to work with really on the last round for Catface. Desperate play to just try to get information in Hunter's Fury on the A side, but nobody can support Elaborate once again.
A taste of your own medicine. Hunter's Fury trying to find the gap as Catface hoping to maintain this, but the gap is pretty large between the two teams. Catface will try to make this a little less painful. 3v1. Finally having everyone at the right place at the right time to reinforce C, which has been one of the weaker points of Catface's defense. Last round of the half, Sober Sushi, Yuto hits their mark, and it's a 9-3 half for Mask.
All right, nice of them to find a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for Catface in the last round. Like I said, we needed some support for the side of Elaborate, and as they TP towards that back of the side, I thought they were dead to rights pretty much once again. As you saw Mask really encroaching onto the seaside, but what really helped them stay alive was the help from Sekia. From the garage, blaze wall, big flashes, can't commit for the side of Mask, and now finally Catface are able to string or muster up at least a third round. No rounds being strung ever since their first gun round of this half, and now I have to think about the pistol here. Got lots of delays by both stallers playing over on the C site for Mask. And that's where Catface will decide to go to start.
See if Mask can run away with this map. Definitely looking like the case, just even from a mechanical to a macro perspective. But this is that much needed mental. Wow, that's a mental reset. That's a brain blaster. Even Logic clearly hit the aim trainer before. Ace opportunity. Mask just have to hunt down Elaborate. 30 HP, making the call. Here comes Logic. Here's the bait switch and the Logic ace for Mask, and the second ace for this team, by the way. Spooky has the other, and this is pretty insane.
Yeah, a very nice pistol round by Logic. I just love how the gong just rang in my ears. Like, that's super clean. Bong bong, a little bit of a wait. One tap again. Just very, very nice shots coming in. What can you really do at this point? Now Logic is already halfway into their ult to get into a Phantom in this round as well. I mean, now I can really say, let's think about Summon. There's no trades of maps this time around.
It's just not the time to have an off day. Not when main event, GCC stakes are at risk. It's a Catface squad that have been through thick and thin, and maybe it's just about going to your map pick to really cement yourselves in the series. Because Mask are also just some fraggers, man. Like, these shots are so clean, but how about this trap play? Carly waiting for the right time, and that step will signal it a paranoia right through the masses. And Raven comes out with 2 to at least help the team still advance, not make it a complete massacre, but still a pretty heavy deficit for this Catface squad.
You have a 2-weapon upgrades too on Spectres. Thankfully, Logic, because the Ace has a Phantom, so I like that you're staying as a group for Mask. It'll still be difficult for the 2 duelists on the side of Catface to get it done, especially as they're a little bit separate, not watching each other's backs for trades. It'll be 2 individual 3v1s for Mask to take.
Wall comes out. Oh, you just heard step, and that's where push comes to shove, and the rest are escaping. And Mask get the defuse and also the anti-eco. So, real chance for Catface to make the most out of a situation that got pretty dire. And it was a good effort for Raven, but this is Mask getting to the finish line with a lot of insurance rounds if this next buy-up doesn't go their way.
Yeah, especially with the kill and defuse, so Logic is 2 pips away from an ult. The bonus round should be very strong as well. If you're looking at it, 2 Spectres still available, Phantom still available.
Placing swarm grenade.
Against the full rifle round of Catface, where they're not really looking like they're desperate to try to get around on their side. They're looking to slow things down still in this round. Just going to make sure that you're playing the basic stuff. So recon to try to get some value into sewers. Elaborate, that's their responsibility to try to go for a pick over on the A side, but very far away from the trade. Just trying to find their timing.
Just gotta take your time and work through your fundamentals. As Catface not seeing much in garage, not seeing anything from an open-ended B, but Carly's gonna test the waters and Elaborate is found.
And that's one of the weakest weapons that you have for the side of Mask. Abandoned. 2 insta headshots.
At least here's a response, and it's not an upgrade for Mask. Getting that kill towards spawn. So Catface setting up camp at B with a smoke behind them. And how much will they extend out towards A?
Planted.
Hunt down these A defenders, but Mask really do love to go on these flanks and kind of really make you think. Expect the unexpected from this team. It's now coming in through the left side, through main.
There.
A lot rides on Blue Owl to stand against this. And okay, it's just Lunafox get 4 in the blink of an eye. What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, it's simple at this point. They've cleared out the A lane. There's been no pressure on that side from the Mask side. Or, yeah, and then it just becomes a little bit easier for them to play that post-plant scenario and maybe a little bit of room to breathe for the side of Catface. Everything was well read. Everything was planted for the A link. Once it clear out on that side for Catface, then you just set up the crossfire setup. Got to give props as well to Raven to be useful to break that recon dart back into the B site to give that opportunity for Catface to have a strong play. Speaking of strong plays, here's a push into the choke.
Not the immediate trap play. It's Blue Owl getting proactive, and you still have to work your way front to back. But
down A.
also, Sober Sushi puts you on your back. That was a huge double kill to dwindle down Catface to now a 2 versus 2. At least you still have Blue Owl, who made such a splash over in sewers, and will have a paranoia for this upcoming retake.
Playing against the 2 high fraggers on the side of Mask, though. Very hard matchup to take. They're gonna try to gamble to plant the spike to flip the map.
Coming through.
Interesting call.
Last player standing.
Push past the smoke, and you just eat the barrel of logic. I guess doesn't have to think too hard about how the kills are coming in. This is match point
Oh, no.
for Mask, and not a scoreline I was expecting at all.
Yeah, me neither. With how
Match
that
point.
round panned out 2 rounds ago, and you had what, 3 players flanking all the way from spawn and C site into the front B, and they all got mowed down by Lunafox. So the call there for Catface was thinking that it was going to be 2 other flankers once again, and that's the unfortunate when you're looking at how the round went through and already losing Elaborate. There's no real information to know if there's players actually flanking in the first place. So they go for the gamble play, try to push out towards that spawn, get punished in.
Welcome to my world.
Okay.
There.
I like that Catface. They're trying to play some more aggressive A approach, just being ready to scrap it out in that A lobby, but unfortunate for Raven is not able to make entry. Also, the Owl Drone marking Carly is something for Catface to work off of, but it's so hard to dislodge Carly. We're walking into a paranoia, and the elaborate alert is not gonna bear any fruit on that side of things, but hey, the clutch power could be important here for Catface. Getting around these boxes, you gotta deal with Carly, and so they do. High fraggers from Spooky and Logic could end it, or Mask. 1v1. The Sekia has a lot riding on her shoulders to save the team, as it was already an uphill battle losing Raven so early. Now you don't want to overthink your rotations. Heard the drop. Half of the spike. And all the thinking's done for you. Red Bull clutch for Sekia.
Yeah, everything was there for Sekia to win that 1v1. Full kit still available. Let's just run it back. I thought just in case you might want to use a run it back and straight into the spawn to see where your opponents could be at, because you know that Logic already placed the pit over on the C side, and it took a while before the pit actually went down. So we give a chance here for Sekia to get some information and try to secure that round, but great on her to gamble that push back towards that spawn again, reads it correctly at the end, and allows here for the 1v1 to happen in her favor.
Here we go.
All right, fellas, is done. Clearly not paid hourly. Just on the first blood, knocking out Catface without a trade, 37 HP, and not dying. Now that's plot armor.
Yeah, they're already hit by everything, and yet still got to kill while paranoid. It's crazy.
Okay, Logic 2 HP. I mean, how many Guardian Angels are on this defensive squad? A stray bullet. Now Catface have able to even things up a bit, considering, you know, they have way better weapons. Mask, though, they have good positions. Garage to the top of the site.
Deploying drone.
Owl Drone if they want to take things slow, but initiating on that front is Luna Fox. Oh
my god.
Just spamming through the smoke is netting some good kills. The lockdown's being invested. Mask want to win it out here, and Luna Fox is not wants to peek as the garage gets opened up, and there it is. Catface will force another round.
I mean, I understand instant headshot, taking Blue Owl down to 11 HP, lockdown to force some players out, and they've been shooting. They've been shooting so far throughout this whole game for Mask. And you have the players that are fragging at the top of the scoreboard still alive in that scenario, so why not? If worst comes to worst, Spooky gets another ult in like 3 rounds, and they're still at map point no matter what this time around. They're hoping here that Elaborate has a chance here to get a pick with this Tour de Force.
Scanning ahead.
Still,
They need to build confidence here, Lemon.
yeah, they're riding on the edge of defeat and a marathon. Mask playing at short, fell, testing.
I'm out of here.
Catface are ready. The aggression now dissipates, and Catface looks to absorb the space, and a big double for Blue Owl, and the rest just run through A, and Mask not looking like a round to win off of.
Spike planted.
We were a little bit preemptive too by throwing up the run it back from Sekia. You can definitely see that they're feeling that pressure on that side. But thankfully they still commit and are able to open up that site. Delay it well enough too from the run it back to allow the openers to happen on the long A side. And I talked about it, you needed some value coming out from the ult on the side of Elaborate just to build a little bit of that confidence. Instant shot in the front of the A entrance, and allows here for Catface to have a little bit of room to breathe. I'm not really gonna give them or think of any hope yet that Catface can really come back in this game. But if they could cancel out the next cycle here of Sober Sushi and Spooky's next ult, I might start believing after.
Okay. On the edge of your seat and go to the next round. Those two keeping their weapons. So Mask, it's only been 3 rounds in a row. Okay, let's figure out how to put a bow on this map. And went away from the Hunter's Fury. Mask have gotten a lot of A main space. They just have to fight back against Catface, who are getting a lot more confident on their approaches on that right side.
good at least though in terms of confidence for the side of Catface that Mask is forcing out a timeout. So you're starting to see here that they are starting to feel a little bit of that pressure despite Catface losing what 9 rounds in a row when they were playing their defensive side. Now on the attack though, as we were talking about it, right? The amount of ults that had to be utilized on that previous round just to win for the side of Catface and not really having it available for quite a while in terms of the ults from Elaborate. They really need to make sure that they cancel out the timeout from Mask, and also, like I said, the next cycle of ults from Sober Sushi, sorry, and Spooky.
2 aces on Mask Treasure's side is still like so
well,
much firepower on that side. Like they've just been running this map. So now you're kind of worried for Catface. Very worried, I would say. When now there's a timeout, there's so much to overthink. What is going to change from the Mask Treasure side, and can you adapt within the round to what Mask are going to throw at you? Really what Catface could be throwing at you as well, as it's a full infiltration into B. You teleport Blue Owl in and still could not get the one. Disrupt this defense enough for the rest of Catface to flood in. But Raven just gets a random pick. So now the odds are even.
We'll take those, I guess. Right now, with the amount of util that was being thrown back on the side of Mask, the fact that you saw Blue Owl TP inside there was crazy. But you have to find that info. Realize here that Seaside could be open.
And speaking of info, big moment for Sekia, who's not going to be pushing towards spawn, but rather try to maybe backstab players getting into garage, which is an important point of retake for Mask. Patience here important, but Spooky reads Sekia like a book. He's making sure that every gap is covered. Now Mask have the numbers. Can they get the win on the map? And Raven goes out without that roar. The ult canceled immediately. Mask 4 versus 1. Just feeling like they gotta get on the defuse. And that's all she wrote for map number 1. And in pretty convincing fashion, 13-7. An important thing to note that Sekia is replacing Kestrel, or like substituting, where Kestrel did play the Jet on this map previously, so Sekia's jumping in those shoes as that flex player that can play anything. And she's also such a positive like person to have on the team. Like I don't think I've ever seen that girl upset, and met her in person, like been at the LAN stage. So this is someone that could really keep the team composed and kind of just forget that map 1 ever happened, because now you just have to ride it out here from here on out. And I think behind Sekia kind of substituting in, it's kind of a tough situation to be in, but she Catface had pulled through worse before, so we'll see if the confidence has come back at all, because Mask Secret definitely had a very commanding first win.
So the also ever important pistol round underway between both Catface and Mask Secret. This is a chance here for Catface to start the snowball on their side and to push this onto Lotus if it goes down to that. Another map here that is a strong map for Catface. For Mask, can they actually thwart down this whole ISO Jet that they probably have zero practice against? So hopefully they have a chance to just duel it back against them as they start off into a strong lead on B to start. So trying to get the insert on to Logic down that line and try to go for a pick there.
And it was Catface that actually set the tone of the whole map of Haven with that first pistol. But it was maintaining that was a whole different ball game. Now you have the stack. Elaborate. Expecting that big step up. You have more reps under the chamber, and you got a lot of bullets in the chamber too. Sekia will add to that. And Mask are not liking what they see it be.
The high-low was perfect, but the thing is there's an over-rotate from Catface that now Carly takes advantage of. And you see how so passively and timidly they're currently playing for Catface. You have Blue Owl watching all the way back towards that spawn. That's a gap right now for Mask to be able to take and try to get the plant towards A.
Big backstab chance. Carly's not gonna fully infiltrate behind. And this is that kind of macro that Catface left some gaps on Haven, which then Mask were able to come up from behind. So Gate is shut, and Catface know what's up, and Carly has a chance for cutoff opportunities, and she confirms one onto Lunafox. That's a problem that Catface seems to want to address right now.
Carly was just trying to stay alive for a bit too, but with her falling to elaborate, this gives a chance right now for Catface to start activating a little bit more quickly for the A site retake.
I wonder who's at the door. Now waiting patiently. Spooky. Okay, that's a lot coming their way. And Sober Sushi just uses the teammate as bait. Spooky dodges the paranoia. Knows the omen's on the left, another on the right. Spike being tapped, but Spooky just gonna now check it, but gets baited.
One enemy
So you just have this chess match, as now it's just a hail of bullets to stop Catface. This gets them off the Spike defuse, and now there's no time, so...
Clutch.
Ends up being just barely a clutch by .98. Red Bull clutch at that for Masked Treasure to get the pistol.
A huge clutch coming through as well. As we mentioned, it was a 2 versus 3. Catface, what they're trying to do there at that point, you saw players pull back from the Sage wall just to try to group up with Elaborate to take down Carly. And as Carly instantly dies trying to rotate back to meet up with her teammates, that gave a chance there for Catface to start moving in and encroaching into the A site. But there's just good util, good smart plays coming out from Sober Sushi, from Spooky as well, to just continue to get Catface off the defuse. And Mask wins that pistol round that I said was so needed for the side of Catface to start building that confidence.
And that got so close. A last 1v1 and a defuse that could have slipped through if it wasn't for that haunt. So, quick check, quick shot. Now it's Logic on the board. Catface looking to punish, and the plot armor shattered. The teamwork still gets the kill in the trade on Logic. So Mask shut the door, now get going. Planet A. Watching over this is Lunafox. Just for the Sheriff, hoping to just get the one, and all of Mask are committed to evicting this initiator. And the trades continue to go Mask Treasure's way.
Trolled themselves too by just forcing through their own slow orb, but still works out. 3 versus 3, still has better weapons and also HP.
Opponent.
Okay,
One enemy remaining.
still looking, still clearing through where Masked Treasure were holding. Now it's Raven and just 22 HP, so you're not doing that in a 1v3. But still, really good team effort for Mask. Just every time they know where a target is, they have information. It's like they smell blood in the water and they just advance as a pack. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, the good news though is from a pistol round to an eco,
That's a good spot.
everybody from Catface is on the board. So when we talked about the lack of shooting that was not present here on the first map of Haven, it's at least there from the defensive side of Summit, who now has Elaborate about to get run down by Mask. Lots of pings. This is going to be a fast execute towards this B site.
Long on Elaborate, when you don't have a Cypher to necessarily slow this down, you just do so, and Elaborate has been so good at the picks alongside Sekia. This has been a really reinforced part of the map, but Mask just get by with just neon walls. You got a drive-by that forces teleport out, and Elaborate just gets read like a book. Mask are just on top of it. Really good back row to just get into the site. Now Catface have to re-clear through. And Sekia fell back, not able to bail out Elaborate. Holding their bases is Mask. Every entryway being watched, every duel being won. And the ISO wall was just not enough to get any space for this team. But Sekia against the world, I mean, you got 2 kills, but yeah, 4 HP. Not great at math, but it's not looking great.
It's about a 0.67 chances to win the round.
Oh, thanks.
And that's why Sekia is going to fall back and save. But I got to say, the preparation for Mask Secret going into this game, I think the prep is there. And the way that they executed towards that site was actually quite clean. Not only are you using fast lanes to prevent any good value from the trademark from Elaborate, they also swerved around the back of the B site so that they forced the TP off Elaborate on the top of the closing door, and they never closed the door in the first place so they could just fully punish any type of position Elaborate's trying to take. So a solo B site hold on a chamber is not going to work out. if you're not breaking that door on the defensive side. And if you're forced to do that, just to try to give yourself a better chance for a chamber, it just makes it so much harder for you to play the retake later on when you don't have that door to work with on that retake. So I like this from Mask. Great punishment so far. And for them to be able to convert a bonus round too is going to continue to make it a huge uphill battle for Catface in the first half.
Maybe it's going to be about sort of trying to disrespect these smokes and just spamming through, because that's how Mask kind of broke your line of sight and had you guessing where it was too late. But I mean, Spooky's so fearless too, just like kind of running out into the open, taking that duel against Elaborate, who just immediately teleported out, as you said. So Mask are running the game pretty flawlessly so far. Catface will take a back seat, but Paranoia right through this Neon. Will humble Fel for a second. Moment for this Bucky to shine, and Fel just works their way past it, literally. And Mask,
One enemy
exactly
remaining.
what they wanted out of the site. Doubling now the numbers. Now leaving Elaborate all on their own.
Yeah, that was a moment of buckshot versus birdshot.
Spike planted.
Unfortunately, it was bird shots in that Bucky that didn't do any damage whatsoever onto Fel, who just slid under all those pellets. And yeah, you tried to stack as much as you could, but just leveraging Fel as a selfless player to slide to get info for the team too, as that second piece of util if the haunt doesn't get value is quite nice. Allows for the team to follow behind that and to secure the A-side post plant. Now we're finally seeing the op come out from Elaborate 2, but like I said, this is where the shots need to land and for them to find the confidence early. You get pushed away though by a Prowler, which is why I was gonna say they needed Sekya to be out there to break the Prowler. Yet somehow you still get an off kill. Okay, I'm just gonna watch this game.
I mean, we just kind of watched that op too. I thought for sure that jump spot would have seen it, but Spooky is that person that just like wide swings and says, "Come at me, bro." Like, and I've loved that from them so far. And just like that, a first blood just doesn't matter for Catface. Mask always have an answer, and now they have an ult. A Nightfall right onto the defense. Blue Owl tries to take their duel and leaves Raven to fend for themselves at 25 HP. And at every step, Mask outnumber and outgun Catface, which now you have an op to try and retake. At least now the spike gets planted, so you have time to work
One
with.
enemy
And,
remaining.
wow, even through the teleport is crazy.
Oh man, they should have saved. They should have saved.
Yeah.
Keep the op for the next round. This is just, unfortunately, a little frustrating to watch from both sides. I think there's a little bit of overconfidence and just too much desperate measures being thrown from both sides. I like to say overconfidence because what should have been the better play for the B main control was simple Prowler, push the op back, yet somehow Sekya is not there to break the Prowler to just insert Elaborate, and you still want to watch it from Spooky and get picked off. Then because there was that pressure happening on that side, there was no mid control from Catface, which allowed for Mass to just pivot back, walk up on the A-Link, and have so much value off the Nightfall, and not give a chance here for Catface to retake from the B side to A. Yet they still wanted to go for the retake and lose their weapons. And
you want to play? Let's play.
I wonder when this timeout's gonna happen too from Catface. I would imagine it would happen here, maybe the next round. I don't even think they used both timeouts last map, unless I just missed it and kind of wrote off the map. But Catface, you can't lose hope yet. 5 rounds is not out of reach. Here's Carly. No, that was looking like a 1v2, and back and forth we go on a lot of pistols on the Catface side. So for the round to be this close is really nice to see.
Surprised that we're still moving into where the weapons were lost and could be picked up here by Blue Owls. So going back into the rifle where B site technically should be weaker. You've already identified the op on the top and middle. It almost feels like you're trying to put logic against Elaborate for this round. And just to play the buddy system and try to shut down Blue Owl with this Phantom over on A.
I'm just looking for a stall opportunity when you can just throw Paranoia through the choke.
30
Sense
seconds
an
left.
issue with a nice shot from Logic. And now upping up the tempo. Fell hungry as the Hunter's Fury is trying to chase down this Neon. Kill confirmed from Lunafox, but also your
Spike
last
planted.
known position known. Mask Treasure can save face in this round by here just waiting out the approach. You know where Luna Fox is? Do you feed the beast? Of course you do. Mask are untouchable on Summit.
Man, the fact that Luna Fox tried to utilize the Hunter's Fury 2 to just try to secure the round. Like I said, just desperate measures coming out from Catface so far. I guess because Elaborate had a little bit of value with the operator, but I think it was just off-timed a little bit when Elaborate lost their fight against Logic too. That's just unfortunate.
Focused.
I like, maybe, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but the fact that Logic just decided to half peek with the barrel of the gun coming out to force a shot out of
You want to find
Elaborate
it?
and then capitalize on the pick after.
Cosmic Divide, sealing the fate of Sekia. First victim and no one that can stop this. Logic off. First Blood's reign in favor of Mask. Now crossing that threshold is Luna Fox.
It's you and
themselves. Okay, kill contract. Raven versus Fel. Two duelists, only one will fall, and Fel even beats Raven at her own game. It's not looking good for Catface in this round. Luna Fox has gotten 3, but it's really to force these repurchases, which at the win streak that we're at, I'm not too worried about the basket economy.
Yeah, just unfortunate too that nobody could trade off a Fel coming out of the kill contract because you had no information of where the pick came from, where the capture was at. And even on top of that, Luna Fox is trying her darndest so far in this game. From Hunter's Fury into a 3-piece, only putting herself at 5 kills throughout this half. But I mean, the rest of the team is definitely not there to get into the fight as a unit. They gotta change their setups again. I feel like I'm, again, broken record from first map to second. It's not working, we're still trying the same setups. It's not working, we're still trying to put the chamber up on side. We gotta change some stuff around here.
Alright. Raven hitting her shot is pretty nice, but Mask always have an answer. They pick up the phone and Catface on the other side. Oh, Sekia just gets annihilated. So Mask are sitting pretty at the B site. Every site has been theirs for the taking. Post plant every step of the way. Raven versus Blue Owl. Is a Paranoia available? Crossing through this threshold is not easy, man. But it's just the headshots are so clean from Mask, and it's you don't have a chance to even get a spray. It's you don't even have a chance to shoot back.
For us this time.
That's the main thing, not a chance to shoot back at all. All of them finding moments. We talked about the first map where Logic and Spooky were kind of unstoppable, but this time there's been a lot coming through from Fel's attack side that's been a pain to deal with from the side of Catface. And now finally we're getting a change of positioning for a bit here. Taking a little bit more mid control with Elaborate so they can play a 2-1-2. I could respect that. That might give a chance here for a first blood, give up mid control, but still play power of numbers. That's a leg shot, unfortunately, though. And a reheal.
Mask have not been forced to use the res either. Eventually the rounds swing in their way. Hasn't been too hectic. The op shots are definitely hitting for Logic. This is a player everyone has to watch out for if this team makes it to the main event, which we're trending that direction so far. On the flank, I'm looking what Sekia can accomplish here for Catface.
Taking that back.
Try to punish Logic, who maybe wants to join the flock at a site eventually. But you're only going to get one chance to shoot Logic before they just teleport out.
And you're going to reclear B main. If you're going to reclear B main, they have a good read of where Catface is currently playing. Yeah, look at that. Fel's already moving forward.
Lucky opportunity for Sekia, catching Fel looking the other way, checking the corner. Now Mask to try to huddle down, but Elaborate. Okay, the op is alive and well. Can make contact here with Spooky. Who is not going to see one time to res, but now that the op is removed, you don't need to res. 3v1. Another day at the office. Sekia has tried to live as deep into the round as she could, but Logic is just next level. 3 with the op. unpunished.
I gotta respect what Catfish is trying to do there too. We talked about a 2-1-2 setup. You lose mid control, so after you lose mid control and it was a jump spot, you know that it's what, the knee on that jumped. You've also identified there was smoke coming through, so lots of pressure towards middle. So they tried to activate on the extremities, but just over committing on that push and not paying attention to potential
Bonne chance, mes amis.
lurk watchers being logic, and Lunafox falls right into the control of the A main. So now the gaps are there on middle. You can't really retake towards sites. Just good stuff going in from Mask so far.
You have what, like a triple high-low, double high-low, and Elaborate gets dropped, and Mask
Go, go, go!
continue to make Summit their playground despite this being Catface's map pick. Fell the tip of the spear, watching the approach, paranoid, and back to cover they go. Catface keeps playing with their food and even through the shield. Bell is just a laser. 3 in that skirmish. 10 unanswered rounds from Mask. This just feels like the beginning of the end of Catface.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think what they could really do here for Catface now at round number 11. How can you really salvage any of these rounds so far where macro is not working, micro is not working, buddy systems? Actually, I think that's the only thing. I haven't seen true buddy systems coming out here yet. Sorry, from Catface. There's no like double fight. There's no trap play attempts. It's hard to do trap plays. I could understand because of this comp, but like, where's the undercut slash dash down, try to get some picks? Try any desperate things that doesn't put you in these solo pushes. Elaborate walking out before the drone even comes through, just counting on the TP and just gets picked off. I'm just not liking what I'm seeing here.
This way!
Especially with no timeout coming from Catface. My cope was that they were just rallying, and Lunafox is trying to rally, but she gets traded out every single time. Maskface, just headshot accuracy, it's so unforgiving to go up against. You make one slip up and Mask just pounce. And it's not even just always these solo opportunities. Mask are just better group. More united. Standing. Look, a high-low there that you walk into. It's hard to outthink this team.
Yeah, and you said it 20 seconds ago. Every time Lunafox gets picked, she gets instantly traded. Where is Catface where there's possibilities of getting instant trades? There's none. Like, even if Elaborate was able to walk out and TP away and gets away safely, what true value can you really get when you're droning through, but your chamber's already peeking out to get information in the first place, right? There's no gun out to maybe even try to spray through a smoke or something like that. So I think there is lack of coordination, maybe just due to the frustration of how this defensive side has panned out for Catface. And it's not to their fault that these mistakes are happening. I could totally understand the frustration that nothing is really working on your defensive side, so everybody's really trying to go for hero plays, and it's just not working out. Now this is the last round of the half. The best thing you saved so far is the operator. You got a leg shot, unfortunately, not even connecting onto a shot as well. And hopefully you can get your one. I think out of this, my copium here is that Mask has so much confidence that they're just gonna run it down and then just go right into the meat grinder.
And it's crazy how the chapters have been rewritten, or just the next chapters have changed. Because Catface, Mask Treasure, they face each other in a round 7, a last match situation GC1. Just logic on that original roster for Mask Treasure. But all of Catface, minus Kestrel, who's subbed out right now, and Elaborate finally gets their one. And all is forgiven. Mask Treasure.
It's you and me.
We finally got to use the res, but we get another kill contract, and Raven wins it. So just don't pull Fell, and maybe Raven we'll see more consistency there, because Fell is an absolute beast in this match.
Spike planted.
Be nice to punish Fell on these jump peaks. Here comes the ISO push, and here are these cutoffs just finding the gaps past and around the shield. As again, Fell 2 for 1. Talk about value from your duelist, and 12-0 half. is
Switching
so
sides.
unheard of. I had
Match
just
point.
finished saying how competitive GC was, especially this stage. And for the names that exist in this lobby, this is just such an
All set up.
insane scoreline to see.
Also, it's your fault, Lemon Kiwi. You jinxed it.
Yeah, well, I said it was close, and I wanted it to be a blessing. I hope we got a close match. This is not how I wanted to see Catface go out.
Yeah, unfortunate there, but it is just to give more praise onto how well Mask is playing with confidence. Like I said, just running it down. We're trying to find their moments too on their attack side. Even the macro, I gotta say, like, they haven't been running the same thing every single round. Mid control works out. Distributed control works out. So this might be the final hurrah for Catface, who's trying to go for the 5-player hit over on A.
Recovering it.
Yep. Or Mask
Jacket's
Secret,
gold
Mask
goes
Treasure,
bye-bye.
whatever it is.
Hey.
They're really seeing
One
gold
enemy
right now
remaining.
as Carly gets the third. And 13-0 is
Defenders
all that
win.
matters. Mask go on to the end from Treasure to Secret.